Welcome, everybody. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. My name is Angie Huntley, and I am an executive consultant with LifeVantage, and we are a biotech company that has pioneered, and we really corner the market and specialize in this fabulous science called nutrigenomics. So we really get to help people defy the odds with their health, but what's amazing is we get to help people defy the odds with their income. We get to help them financially, and I've been doing this for 10 years. It's my favorite job. I have a resume that kind of reads like Forrest Gump. I've done a little bit of everything in my life. I owned a dance studio as a young adult after I had time on the professional dance audition circuit and got to travel the country doing that, which was amazing. After I owned my dance studio, I went into ministry, went to Bible college, ran some great ministries at a very large church, and then broke off and started a ministry in downtown Kalamazoo where I worked with some people here on this call, getting to help underprivileged, but also just getting to teach and lead through some great missions that we took on. And then we opened a franchise restaurant. And that was about 10 years ago. And you can see I dabbled in a lot of things. I was on the speaking circuit. I was a writer. There was a lot occupying me, but I'm a mother of 5 young men. Now I have 2 grandsons, and I have my first granddaughter that will be here next month. It's hard to believe. So the first girl on the Huntley scene. My life is very full. And it's always been really full. But 10 years ago, when this found me, I was going through a very overextended health crisis with my son. And what I mean by that is I was very overextended, opening a restaurant, executive director of a ministry. And I had a 10-year-old son who is an identical twin who had non-functional symptoms. And we spent a lot of time trying to find answers for him. And someone who loved my family enough, and I did ministry with, kept trying to get my attention with this. And I really was very weary, and I was really very skeptical. And if that's you today, if you're a little bit weary and you're a little bit skeptical, we want to meet you right in that place, because someone met me right in that place. And I think it's pretty amazing that you got on to listen, even through that skepticism and through that weariness. And honestly, what I love is through a skeptical lens, which we should all have nowadays, because there's a lot of bad stuff out there. This holds up. And so we're excited to share with you something that can change your life, because this changed my life. It not only really shifted things in the health trajectory of my family, my son at that time, and then son after son after son, and myself, and kind of went through every member of my family, even my dogs. But when I heard about this information for the very first time, I was at my friend's adult foster care home, and she was integrating this with her residents there, people who were normally like towards end of life. And she was seeing really incredible things, and she had studied up on it a ton. And fortunately, we had a relationship where she had wholeheartedly earned my trust. And so with one lens, I had the lens of a desperate mother really wanting an answer to something to help my child. But with another lens, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've owned businesses, and we were just starting a franchise restaurant. And it occurred to me that if this is as special as it seems, as all the information that is that I was looking at, that the world needs to know about it. And I was a little miffed that I hadn't heard about it earlier, because we had other things that it would have been great for. So my very first dive into this, I started the business. I jumped into the business. And I had a very unique circumstance of having an actual franchise that we remortgaged our house for, $200,000 that we're still paying on. We have a business loan. And we had to meet business expenses every month of $30,000 just to pay everyone else, just to pay for inventory, for payroll, for taxes, for our lease. And so the list goes on, our franchise fees. And a franchise and a micro franchise are really similar. What LifeVantage is a micro franchise, but the difference is, while they both are set up for you, they both have the formulation all set, the branding, all the things, the quality control, the distribution, the shipping, everything we don't have to worry about. There was no overhead. And I, in a very overextended life, was able to share here and there when people would share their problems with me. I all of a sudden had a solution. And I could easily tap into a system that allowed me to slowly build and see income mount and see income compound. And that was pretty special because the franchise restaurant took everything out of me, my physical energy, my mental energy, my emotional energy, every moment of every day, and sometimes during the night because we'd have building problems too. And I got paid nothing. And then COVID shut us down. And what's interesting, I had to get a corporate job to support the restaurant. So now I'm working the corporate job. I'm running the restaurant. I still am fitting LifeVantage here and there and seeing my pay go up, sometimes doubling month to month. It's wild without all this overhead, without all the stress, with no employees. And supply chain from COVID shut us down. They stopped bringing the franchise food up to the north, and we're in Michigan. And that was in 2021. And then my corporate job, which I was paid really well, I managed and directed environmental health and safety for a custom vehicle manufacturing facility. And a year later, after our restaurant closed, that CEO said, you know what? We're changing focus and we're going to take operations out of Michigan. We're shutting the doors. And for a split second, I panicked because everyone else was panicking. And then I looked at what I had been building through the years with LifeVantage, and I had built an income that caught me. Everyone else was falling. We all felt like we were falling when that manufacturing facility shut down. And I just got to stretch out and say, oh my gosh, I don't have to get another job. And I love doing this. And I'm so excited because my guest tonight is going to share with you a lot of the reasons why I love this so much. But right now, if you hear background noise, it's because one of my youngest sons, who's a twin, is talking and doing Play-Doh at the other end of this table with my grandson. And my other grandson is over in the high chair having his pizza. And this is how we do this business. Actually, this business works around my life instead of vice versa, which was everything I've done in the past. So what I'm so excited about tonight really is for you to meet this amazing individual, Joanne. And I'm going to read her bio in a moment. But first, I just want to tell you that when I met her, she's one of these people that you feel an instant connection with, an instant friendship with. And have you ever met someone that you just feel love? Like you just feel loved. And as soon as I met her, my heart was so full. And I thought, this person is special, because you don't feel that with everybody. But I did with her. And you know what? She's kind of a big deal. So that makes it even a bigger deal, right? Because sometimes when people are really high up, they feel distant and possibly like you can't get to them. And that's not her at all. When I tell my company story, and Joanne's going to tell it, not me, but I'm always talking about these group of individuals that decided to pioneer taking this amazing breakthrough into the micro franchising space. And there was a big meeting. It was a big shift. And it's how this whole company was birthed. And Joanne and her husband, Dave, hosted that meeting. All of these people had the meeting in their living room. When you talk about founders, they are it. They are as high up as you can go. And for her to take the time to share with all of you is so special. So I want to read about her so that I do her justice, because she is truly an amazing soul. So Joanne is from Monument, Colorado. She is a wife, mother, and grandmother, friend, lover of the Lord, and businesswoman. She has been married to Dave, who I felt the same thing from, by the way. He is a precious soul, for almost 40 years, and they have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. And while their kids were young, she was able to fulfill her dream of being a stay-at-home mom. Her heart revolves around her family and loving and serving others. As her children grew less dependent on her, she pursued a career in the mortgage industry. And after the economic turmoil of 2008, she knew she had to get out due to unpredictability and the high stress level. She and Dave were looking for something new for the next chapter of life. However, with a predominantly successful track record in network marketing, unsuccessful, sorry, with a predominantly unsuccessful track record in network marketing, it's hard for me to envision that. Um, Sorry, I just moved my thumb and that moved my phone. In network marketing, it was not their first choice until LifeVantage came along. The opportunity to create a legacy with LifeVantage captivated both she and Dave. And so they jumped in and they have never looked back. And if any of you are in LifeVantage right now, Joanne and Dave are part of the reason we are here. So I'm totally honored and privileged to introduce to you Joanne Matteson. Thank you, Joe. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness. Thank you so much. And that's funny that you say that instant connection because that's exactly how I felt and feel about you. It's like, oh my gosh, she's just so authentic and lovely and just passionate about helping people and making a difference in people's lives. And I love that we are unifying as a field force and just inviting the whole world to come on this movement with us to really change people's trajectories one household at a time. And so, yeah, it's been so fun just to get to know you even a little bit. And I look so forward to many more encounters and creating memories and having a good time together. Because quite honestly, how many of you could use some good times and make memories, right? Instead of all the hamster wheel that we all seem to know how to live on, not necessarily thrive on, but we tend to live on the hamster wheel, just going round and round and round. And so, yeah, so I'm going to kind of ask you just some questions for you to answer in your head as I go along. Um, how many of you have ever been involved with something or aligned with something for 17 years that you're more excited after 17 years than you were in the beginning? Because I know for Dave and I, that is one and done. This is the place. So I can't, well, other than our family, I guess, our marriage and our family. Oh my goodness, look at that cutie pie. Yeah, and I love this. And you are exactly right that we infuse this along with our family and along with life. It's not you got to do business and then you get to do life. It's all merged and married together. And so let me kind of take you back. So Dave and I'm going to incorporate him, although he's not on the call. If he pops in, he could say hello. But so we actually met when we were 12 years old. We grew up in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York. And then 30 years ago, we moved out to Colorado and we've been here ever since. And Dave had spent 25 years in the commercial, industrial, large heating and air conditioning industry. I was a stay-at-home mom, like she said, loved doing that, being able to raise our kids and be present with that. And then got in the mortgage industry, and I actually loved the mortgage industry until I didn't. And Barbara, you must be in the real estate world because you are just shaking your head like you know what's going on, right? And so when 2008 hit, it was myself and my business partner, and I no longer loved it. In fact, it was so stressful because our whole world shifted overnight with the economic crash. And we had our own business. So if you didn't close the loan, it wasn't like I was working for a bank that I would get a paycheck anyways. No harm, no foul, not really invested. No, we were really invested in our clients. And I took great pride in explaining things because that whole mortgage process can be super nerve-wracking for people, right? And just walking them through that with integrity and explaining how it's all going to unfold. And when things didn't unfold the way they had for several years prior after 2008, I couldn't deal with it because you'd submit the loan and the underwriters were their job, if the loan defaulted, then their job was on the line. So they were asking for ridiculous things, and which made our end of things much more stressful. So long story short, I had to get out. And I'm going to ask you again, another question. How many of you have ever been in something in your life where you're like, I gotta get out? Like, this is no longer serving me. This is not working. This is not worth it. Time and life are too short, right? And so that's where I was in the mortgage industry. Oh my gosh, we're gonna just have a family affair of cutie pies on here. Um, and Dave, having spent 25 years in the heating and air conditioning industry, well, that's economy tied, the whole real estate world and construction and everything. So he found himself working twice as hard, making half as much money. We're coming home stressed to the max. We're looking at each other and saying, there's got to be a better way, right? So he starts exploring all kinds of brick and mortar businesses, and while I quote unquote like the idea, because we are entrepreneurial minded, the big price tag that goes along with that, I wasn't so excited about because I'm pretty conservative as far as that kind of thing goes. I mean, just like Angie and their whole situation, you think if you align with a corporate entity and a franchise that they're going to deliver on their end of the agreement and bring you the food so you can sell the product that you've got the contract for. And when all that doesn't happen, you're left holding the bag, as she told us, right? So none of that sounded really good to me. And in fact, I was reading something today, and it was saying that one of the worst businesses, there was a whole list. Um, one of the worst on that list was owning a restaurant. And one of the best on the list was a biotech company. So here we are. So Dave and I are saying, okay, what's our dream list? We love to travel. Many of you might love to travel or you might not love to travel. The great thing with this movement is you can travel or you don't really have to travel. You get to choose. So we love to travel. We love to meet people. We love to serve people. We love to work together. And so we were looking for that dream thing that wasn't in this industry, that was not in this space. So I will be super transparent and honest with you. Dave and I had tried this industry back in our 20s as we were getting married. We were super unsuccessful. We met all kinds of successful people. We knew that serving people and the whole word of mouth marketing concept works because we met people that made a lot of money creating that leveraged income. We were just not one of them. And so after a 12-year endeavor with that, we said, we don't know what's wrong with us, but we're never doing this again. We're going to support all of our friends as they embark on their journeys, but we're not going to do that again. And then along came this project called LifeVantage. So back in 2009, we literally had a friend call us and say, go to your computer. I want you to watch an ABC piece and let's talk about what stood out for you as you watch that. So we did just that. And if you're on this call and you haven't seen that ABC primetime piece, I want you to ask the person that had invited you on this call to share the link for you to see that, because literally that changed the trajectory of our lives. Because we saw that ABC documentary piece and we said, if this information is true, we need what they're sharing us and educating us about, which I'm going to educate you about in a minute. And we need to tell everyone that we know, love, and care about that this technology exists and that they can benefit from this. And so what happened was we found out it actually was true information. And we said, well, if they're going to pay us to tell our friends, why wouldn't we let them send us a paycheck? And we'll break our promise to each other and let's see where this goes. And so here we are, hence my first question. What in your life are you more excited about 17 years in than you were 17 years earlier? And that's where we are right now with this opportunity, with this movement, aligning and partnering with a company by the name of LifeVantage. So LifeVantage actually started in 2003, right up the road in Denver, Colorado, with one flagship breakthrough technology product that they brought to the world. And ABC came in to do an expose on it and actually try to debunk what they were saying. And they were very surprised in that the results were not what they were expected because they were very, very good. And hold tight because I'll share about that. So that was in 2003. In 2005, ABC aired that piece. And then by 2009, they realized they needed to make a change. They needed to shift their distribution and have people telling their friends and family about this because people didn't understand the industry. They have preconceived notions about it and misunderstandings about it, and they also didn't understand or know this technology. And so for Dave and I, we looked at this and we said, could we create a business around this? And the answer is absolutely yes. And the answer today is 100% yes, because we literally are the best kept secret in town and really all around the world. And we are looking for more people that are like-minded, that want to help themselves and their sphere of influence, and maybe even go broader and take this around the world, because today LifeVantage is an international company. We're publicly traded, so you can go on the NASDAQ and look at the stock. And that was critical for Dave and I. And so if you're embarking on looking and analyzing a business, you want to make sure that that business has integrity. You want to peel back the onion on all of that. And so, since we were so skeptical and since we had not had the success we were looking for in the past, we wanted to make sure that the odds were in our favor. Now, financially, LifeVantage wasn't in a place that the odds were in our favor, but we were just bold and brassy enough to believe that with the other individuals that said, yes, let's save this. This company is worth saving because of the way that their flagship product is something that everybody on the planet needs. That we thought this isn't a man thing, that's not a woman thing, it's not a child thing, it's not an age thing, it's not anything, but it is something. It is something absolutely amazing that everyone needs, but they may not know that they need this. And so we were all about linking arms and starting down the road on that project. And just like Angie said, that very first meeting in Colorado back in 2009 happened in our house. There were over 20 people here. A dozen of us said, yes, let's link arms and start sharing about this and see what we can create. And so today we have a business that spans around the world. And we didn't know people all around the world, and you may or you may not. You may have a big circle of influence, you may have a little circle of influence. The amazing thing with all of this is it doesn't really matter, because whatever size your circle is, someone in that circle knows someone with a larger circle. And that's how this movement goes. And so this has been just an amazing thing for us to be able to take that original technology, and what that original technology is all around is around cellular aging. Now, I'm going to ask you, how many of you on here want to age faster or slower? I'll answer it. For 17 years, I've never met anybody that said they want to age more quickly, right? Everyone wants to age more slowly. The other question I get is, do I have to take this forever? And I say, absolutely not. Those months that you want to age more quickly, do not take this. Those months that you want to age more slowly, then you want to take this technology. So what made it so significant is it's 5 herbs and botanicals that in the synergistic blend is proven to work 100% of the time in 100% of the mammals that will consume it. So that message alone was amazing. The message around that we are the only ones on the planet that have this technology to bring to the world from a business standpoint really set us apart. And we've got patents protecting us, so nobody can rip off and repeat our formulation. We've got 7 patents here in the US, 5 international patents. So we've got a long runway on those patents protecting us from other direct competition coming into the marketplace. So that was a good thing for us. We've got the publicly traded company, which for Dave and I, we liked that because they can't change the rules of the game midstream really easily. Now, have there been modifications in 17 years? Absolutely. And they've all been to the benefit of all of us out there that are sharing this information. I know Dave had a job back in the day, and as soon as he met all the requirements, they changed the requirements so that they would not have to pay him all the bonuses that they said he would get paid. And so that didn't work out so well for us. But here they can't do that. There's a lot of rules and regulations around having a publicly traded company. We've also got the products now. We've got a whole catalog of products that are 30 plus in our repertoire that people can take advantage of. And the whole thing around LifeVantage and their messaging is that we are around activation. And that is a whole different wellness message. We are moving the message from supplementation to activation. And I said, well, what does that mean? And really, what that means is God designed our body to heal itself. The problem is we're eating food that's nutrient deficient. We've got stress in our life. We've got screens in our life. We've got pollutants in our life. We've got all these toxins coming at us. And so our body gets out of whack. And so what happens then inside our body, every single cell is impacted by that. And so that cellular rusting or that cellular aging or inflammation happening in our body starts going on, and they know that that is the root cause of a disease and illness developing as we get older. And it's called oxidative stress. Now, I told you I grew up in Buffalo. You guys are maybe some of you in Michigan, so you're probably familiar with snow and rust. Oxidation. Well, it's the same thing that's happening inside our body, that our cells are rusting, they're getting out of balance. And when we're internally out of balance, then things go out of whack and they present themselves in all different ways in all different people, right? But in the form of maladies and inflammation and aches and pains and all kinds of things going on. Now, our flagship product is something that reduces that oxidative stress 100% of the time in 100% of the mammals that will eat it. So if you buy it and put it on the shelf, it will not work. We can't make that guarantee. You got to take one pill a day to reduce that rusting on average of 40% in just 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days. Who wouldn't want to slow their cellular aging by 70% in 120 days, right? Why would you ever come off of that product? So many people are taking so many things and they're not getting the impact physically that they need. And so we can help people transition their wellness dollars and have an actual result physically in their body. But the other main thing that's a disease in our culture today is a financial disease. And so for Dave and I, we were having financial disease in the mortgage industry and in the HVAC industry. And maybe some of you have experienced that in your life and in your jobs and in your career paths and in just the economy with everything getting more and more expensive. Well, what if I told you that in less than a year, in 9 months on average, the individual that starts plugging into this system that we have that is tried, true, and proven to work, that they can increase their household income by over $20,000 in the next 9 months. What would you do with an extra $20,000? And that's just starting in your first year. As we all know, and if you're a business owner, you know your first year of business, most people are still in the red. They're not getting in the black in their first year or even two, maybe even three, right? So we've got people in the black with their business oftentimes in 30 days or less. So Dave and I looked at each other and we said, holy cow, when we watched that ABC primetime piece, they were talking about things in there like cancer, diabetes, depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, asthma, allergies. And we're looking at each other and we're saying, our family, our family, our family, our family. And maybe some of you have some of those things as a predisposition in your family. And we said, why wouldn't we take this? Why wouldn't we tell people? And so I can tell you, we have been getting a paycheck from LifeVantage for the last 17 years, and our income has just continued to grow. Now, I can also tell you in 17 years, we've had two not on the calendar life crises. How many of you have had a life crisis over the last 17 years that you didn't forecast or you didn't plan for, and it hit you up emotionally, physically, financially? Well, we've had that happen twice in 17 years, and we needed to step away and take care of the situations at hand. And you know what happened? Something that would never have happened in my mortgage industry. our income went up. What if you didn't go to your job for several months? Would you still have a job? Would your income go up? Would your boss be okay with that to say, I need to take 4, 6 months, I don't really know, and I need to address what's happening on a personal level and deal with that, and I'll come back when I'm ready? Does that fly in traditional jobs? Most of the time, no. And so I just want everyone on here to have the opportunity to know what I know and to experience what Dave and I have experienced, because for us, this has given us the opportunity to have choices. I was able to get out of the mortgage industry. Dave was able to get out of the HVAC industry. And back then, we had our flagship product, and then they added one other piece of what is now our amazing entire skincare line. And so we had two products. And with just two amazing scientifically validated products, in under 2 years, we were able to be generating over 6 figures. And that income has done nothing but grow over the last 17 years. And so we have been able to plug into a system that we want to plug you into to be able to develop your leadership and then leaders upon leaders upon leaders, so that if and when life happens, be it good or bad, right? Life can happen and it can be really good. That maybe you want to go on an extended vacation and you would get to do that if that's what you wanted to do. That when your business is built based on the system that we now have been refining over the last 17 years, we will know that your income will continue and it won't just crumble because you aren't present. And this leads us to the ability to leave a legacy, because this is a willable asset. You can leave this business to your children or whomever you'd like to leave it to. And so for Dave and I, we loved that this is something that we can one day pass on down to our children and then our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. And so it doesn't end with you, it doesn't end with me. So for Dave and I, we've been on this journey for the last 17 years, watching LifeVantage evolve in this biotech space with scientifically validated products. That flagship product, as you'll see, that I said has the patents. If you go to a website called pubmed.gov, short for publicmedical.gov, and you type in Protandem, you will see the 30 studies that are on there that have been done by LSU, Ohio State, VCU, Texas Tech. All kinds of universities have had interest, and there's still ongoing interest for all kinds of diseases and illnesses because of the science around this, and because the scientific world knows that oxidative stress is the root foundation of disease, illness, aging, and breakdown in our body. And so because we have the ability to activate your body to go back and make its own antioxidants, make your survival genes, this has actually been proven to extend lifespan. Who do we know that we wouldn't like to have 5 more years or any part of 5 more years with? Because that's what that study proved. You know, yesterday I lost a cousin of mine. Today, a friend's mom passed away. I mean, life is short. I'm just thinking and looking at that. And my cousin was 77. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm 63. That's only 14 years. And to me, to think that, wow, not that I plan on dying at 77, but that seems like very short, right? Time is short. Time is of the essence. We need to set ourselves up so that we can get off that hamster wheel and have the financial resources so that we're not living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck and having the stress of that, and that we have the opportunity to help people far and wide, near or far. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs to hear about this technology, and the fact that LifeVantage has created other supporting activators to go along with our flagship product. Today, there's 3 Protandim products in that lineup, and the 3 together are patented. We have activating collagen. Collagen is the glue that holds our body together. We've got activating brain drinks. We've got an activating gut product. We just bought the whole company because they were so aligned with what this messaging is all about. Nobody else in the wellness space is triggering your body to go back and heal itself the way it was designed to perform. And so for Dave and I, we could get behind that because we know health, wellness, and anti-aging are growing spaces in the marketplace. And when you're positioned with products that nobody else has, that have validated science around it, and we've got all kinds of anecdotal stories. Now, the scientific type don't really regard that, but regular people like you and me, I mean, I'm just a mom and a grandma, and I just love helping people. So I can't really read all the science, but I can listen to my friends and hear their stories and watch and see what has happened for them. And that jazzes me up because when they're saying, holy cow, these products saved my life or made such an impactful difference in my life, and that we can then have LifeVantage paying us to share this information, it is so fun and so rewarding. Now, this compensation plan is robust and aggressive. You literally can get paid every single day. They will send you a paycheck for capturing customers. People will come on board and enjoy these products as your customers, and you can make 10 to 30% on customers month over month over month over month. We've had people ordering for 17 years. What have you used for 17 years every single month? I'm not even using the same toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, nothing for 17 years except for these products, right? But people get on them and they don't want to come off when they've got positive results surrounding them. So you can get paid on those customers every single day that you're acquiring them. And then for us, Dave and I, we wanted to build that legacy. And I hope you do too. And so on the 15th of every month, we get our legacy check. And so that has been coming for 17 years and it has been growing for 17 years. And so that is all around having other people linking arms with you, and together we plug you into this system and we share this information together so that this no longer is the best kept secret, but that we are sharing this secret with other people. And so there's a vast number of ways for you to get paid on building a team and creating leadership. But the one that jazzed Dave and I up was the aspect that you may be hearing about this for the first time today. Doesn't matter when you heard about this, you actually have the privilege and opportunity to get paid on every piece of product sold all around the world. So I don't drink Coke or Pepsi, but if I did and they were going to send me a paycheck, and even if I didn't and they were going to send me a paycheck on every can sold around the world, even if it was a fraction of a penny, that could add up to be a lot of money. And every single month, LifeVantage takes 4% off the top to unify the field force. Just like Angie and I, we're not quote unquote on the same pay structure within the company, but they want us all to play nice in the sandbox and to help each other out and to have a cohesive field force. And so collectively, 4% is up for the grabbing for people that build their business and can tap into that global monthly profit sharing. And that is a huge deal, you guys, because if you're hearing about this today, and I've been talking about it for 17 years, and your money at that level is the same as mine, woohoo for you. That is awesome. And so we love people to come and join us at whatever piques their interest. And so if that's being a customer, that is great. And when you experience the amazing results with these products and want to upgrade and come and share the message with us, that's easy too. But for those of you that have vision and maybe want to get free product, or maybe want to add the extra 20,000 or so to your household in the next year and then move on from there, bigger and better, and there is no ceiling on how much you can make, there are tons of options for you to come and join us with a business pack. Literally, to have a global business, the most you could spend is $9.99. Come on, guys. I mean, Angie will tell you. It's almost laughable, right? Even my mortgage company, where we just rented an office, had printers and computers, not really much, was a lot more than $9.99 to just set up shop, right? And then we had rent and overhead and all that, which leads me to you don't have overhead with this company. You buy the products that you want to consume and enjoy yourself. You don't have to have a garage full. You don't have to have a closet full. You don't have to have any extra inventory. Now, I like to, just in case I want to share it with someone to have a little bit, but no, it is nothing like that. In fact, that is frowned upon. So you just purchase what you want to enjoy and consume for yourself and your family, and then plug into the system. The training is all there. We've got events that you can attend where you can meet other individuals and hear their stories and just feel the energy. Like it was so fun being with Angie a couple weeks ago and just feeling her energy and the energy in the room, right? That it was just infectious to just see everyone and meet everyone and hug everyone and hear the stories and just be with like-minded individuals. It's so fun, you guys. This is the most fun thing we have ever done. Because trust me, if we weren't making money, if we weren't having fun, if these products didn't do what they said they were going to do, Dave and I would have pieced out a long time ago. So yeah, so to embark on this for $9.99 on down to 250 and have the opportunity for an international business is unheard of. Go on the website, talk to whoever invited you here tonight. They will show you all the options for you. But I want to encourage you, if you are serious about making a serious income, look at that $9.99 pack. Now, if you can't swing it, we want you to start today. We don't want you to wait to gather up the money. Let's get you going. But if you can swing it, it comes with 2 event tickets and a wide variety of the products in our catalog for you to try, taste, smell, sell. You can do whatever. Um, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing to start at that pack because that gives you the opportunity to really experience what LifeVantage is offering in the marketplace. The other thing it does for you is what this business is all about duplication. Your friends are going to say to you, well, what did you do? And if you spent 250, that's okay. But then if you're asking them to spend 9.99, it's like, well, wait a minute. Why do I have to spend 9.99 when you spent 250? Right? It becomes a little bit perhaps of a sticky wicket. So do what you can. Let's link arms today. Let's get to sharing this information and changing the world one household at a time and creating that legacy and that retirement asset for yourself and your family. No matter how young or old you are, you can benefit from these products. In fact, our grandchildren at 1 year old start drinking our brain drink. It's absolutely amazing. It's all natural, clean, and that is the cool thing. As you do your due diligence on these products, there is nothing like them in the marketplace. And that's why Dave and I could get behind them because we weren't a Me Too company. We're activating and triggering our body to heal and restore and repair itself. And we're activating our body to heal and repair and restore our financial landscape as well. And we just want to invite you to join us on this journey. Come have fun with us. Angie, I just want to say thank you so much for having me share with your team today. Um, Always a privilege, always a pleasure, and I will look forward to seeing you in a few weeks as
Yes.
we get to go on another adventure together out to Las Vegas. So hopefully all of you on this call will be heading to Las Vegas as well and bringing your friends with you because there's plenty of time to get them to come. So thanks so much for letting me share.
Joanne, thank you for being here. People are thanking you so much in the chat. I'm thrilled that people who haven't met you yet have had a chance just to connect with Joanne because truly your heart just shines and your knowledge about the business and your experience with the business speaks volumes because you're truly someone I think that people meet and instantly look up to and to see
Oh,
like, wow, you've invested 17 years of your life, you and your husband both in this has got to be good. And sometimes I look at that too. Like when you look at the quality of people who've
yeah.
invested their lives And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you who've taken the time, whether you're watching the recording or whether you're here live. This is life changing, and the world needs this. We need more voices. Sometimes we don't think as big, but when you think back on this information that Joanne told you about and the smidge that I told you about, sometimes people are thinking, I don't know for me, but who do you know that is praying right now for an answer to, financial freedom, or to get out of a financial situation, or needs this for their health? They need a financial or a health transformation. You could be right now here because they've been praying for this. And so thank you so much for considering. Make sure you talk to the person who invited you here. And we hope you all have just a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Have a good night, everyone.